do, how many more steps I have to take. The entire time I'm staring at the top of it, it's intimidating and tiring. So, so the trick is to think of the big picture when I need to move forward sometimes, and when I need to know my direction sometimes. And for most of the time, to just focus on exactly the things that I have to do for today. That's the best way we could get there. Because when tomorrow comes, that's also like the only thing I have to worry about. Exactly the things I have to do tomorrow. That specificity, that simplicity is what helps people get to their goals. Focusing on the current steps they're taking as opposed to this vague goal down the road that is usually insufficient to pull people through.
I love that so much. That makes total sense. And it clicks in my mind perfectly because I know
Yeah.
I've got projects I work on. I've got things that I want to get accomplished, but they are sometimes it's overwhelming. It's like I don't know where to start. And to actually break it down and think, okay, what's next? What do I need to do right now? That makes all the difference. If you can make an action plan like that, so you can really see what is immediately in front of me, and then take care of that, and then you can see what's next after that. I love that so much. That makes absolute sense to me.
It's yeah, we like to be grounded. We don't like to be floating in uncertainty. We like to be grounded, and knowing what exactly I'm doing today is a grounding thing. And I want to ask you, how similar was this explanation to what you thought about precision? Because you said you had an
It's in the
idea.
same. That's a great question because it is actually. I guess it's in the realm, but I wasn't picturing it being that next step. That makes total sense to me because precision coach, I have in my mind, it's like, that we're going to take something, I guess, actually right in front of me and move forward on a direct line towards the goal. So it coincides, I think, with how you said it, but what was in my head was just a little different because I like the part where you're saying, okay, that goal's out there, but let's focus on the next steps. What are we doing today? And to make it that simple, really, in my mind, of it might not be easy, but it is that simple then of what's next? What do I need to do now?
Yeah.
So that is so awesome. I love that. Oh gosh. So have you had many clients that would consider themselves to be in the disability world somehow? I'm just kind of curious if that is a piece of what you encounter very often, or is that a less common thing for you?
Not very common, and perhaps it's because I haven't exposed myself on my work to programs like yours. But it also depends on what you consider disability. I think social anxiety, for example, which is one of the things that I'm familiar working with, uh, is something that can be quite disabling because it can deprive the person of the normal everyday social interactions that they want to have, especially when it's severe. And I also think it's one of those so I consider the disability at a certain point, and it's also one of those disabilities that can actually be compensated for and um, worked through. That I've worked. However, people who are considered people with disability, that's not very. It has. I haven't had much of that so far. No.
We're good. Just kind of curious because we're all in different places, and at what point in a person's life that they start looking around to say, you know what, I need some kind of a coach here. I need to know, I need some help with where I'm going. So, how do people typically find you? Where are is there a kind of a theme that you see in people that are reaching out and finding you?
Good question. I think people who reach out and find me are people who are just really motivated about growth, about personal development. People who want to change, who want to grow, who are ready to take action, and then they come to me. Because usually, if they're in a place where they just feel completely defeated and they're in a lot of pain and they feel like they need a place to heal, then I would recommend therapy, which is very, very important for someone who wants to heal, right? And what I say is therapy is for healing and coaching is for excelling. Both necessary depending on where you are, right? And yeah, I think those are the people that reach out, and sometimes those limitations, if you want to call something like ADHD a disability or um, anxiety, things that are very limiting, are what cause us to come forward and say, yeah, I have a job, yeah, I have a family, or whatever it is that I'm dealing with successfully, but I want more. I want to connect to people at work, or I want to create more time for myself outside of work. But I can't. My mind is so scattered. I'm all over the place. I can't function like people do. I'm too nervous. I'm too anxious. All those things.
And I see with too that you do have a definite advantage in having the background of therapy, that you can recognize those pieces and see that you'd have a clear picture of what's going to be most beneficial for the person you're talking to. Are they in a place where they really are ready to be coached, or are they in a place where more the therapy end of things would be where they are now, and then to create that action plan to see, okay, so what should you be doing now, and that it gives you such an advantage in being able to I guess I'm picturing it as you can kind of take that step back and see a little clearer where it is. I know some people are coaches that have that kind of background to be able to recognize when therapy might be the right answer. I think that I'm really appreciating where you're coming from and what you're able to offer today. I think this is amazing to be able to share this with us.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, I am fortunate to have that advantage because I do have experience with in people seeking therapy, and as therapists, we are also trained to have a lot of respect for evidence-based practice, meaning practice that's based on science, based on actual findings that actually have shown to work about the human mind, and I put a lot of emphasis on that.
Awesome. Do you picture your coaching going in the future? Do you have ideas of I know you said you take on limited clients at a time, which makes perfect sense to me.
Limited.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where do you picture your coaching going in the future? Do you see a way that you may expand, or do you like what you're doing that you keep it focused on a limited number that way, so you can do the most with the individuals that way?
Good question. So yeah, my clients my clients know, so they expect individualized attention, they expect individualized work, and the that kind of coaching, and that's what I do right now. Down the line, I don't know. I'm really enjoying this, so I don't know. Maybe I know the trend is when coaches do a lot of individual work, then they do groups and they work with people. If I find a way to get this kind of result and fulfillment in a group setting, then yeah, I will do that. But for right now, I'm focused on how to make the best out of this individualized work.
So you are in the place that you're meant to be right now. That's perfect. I love that.
I think so, yeah.
So, and actually, I was going to bring Emily back in to see. I know you two had met before now, so I thought perhaps do you have any questions that you would like to ask Bobby as well, Emily?
I'm not sure, but I know the question we've asked at the end before, Sue.
Oh, go ahead.
My favorite ice cream is, good question. I have a few, and the one is Ben and Jerry's Vegan Cherry Garcia.
Oh, very nice. And very specific. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here,
love to see that.
the vegan part of it, not just.
Yeah. I only eat vegan ice cream, and that one is one of my favorite ones that comes to mind.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, Emily, I gotta ask what yours is today. What are you in the mood for?
Probably chocolate.
Which?
Chocolate.
Regular chocolate?
Hmm.
Yeah. Actually, chocolate and brownie, like the double chocolate kind, chocolate and brownie, that's also on the top of my list.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what I have in the freezer right now, I've got vanilla with cookie dough and brownie pieces. It's one I hadn't tried before, and it's, I think, my new favorite. It's been really good.
Sounds good.
So,
That sounds good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
lucky for me, the rest of my family thinks it's a little too sweet, so I get to have this one, I think.
I don't understand that. Too sweet. Even
How is that
even like
possible?
even like when I put actual like agave syrup in my mouth, it's like sweet. I like it. It's just never too sweet for me.
Oh, excellent. Well, and before I forget to ask, I'm wondering if you would be willing to share if you have like a website or way that people could contact you if they want to reach out at some point. Do you have a website that you could share with us?
Well, thank you for asking. My website is precisioncoach.com. And over there, when they go on the website, I talk about what I do, and there is a button that they can click on to book a consult, to sign up for a consult session with me, and I get back to them. And if we are a good fit, I set up a complimentary consult session to see how we can work together.
Oh, and that's perfect. That was the next thing I was going to ask you was how you get somebody started. So you have a consultation with them to see if the fit is right, and then you go from there.
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have just over a minute left here. I'm wondering if you've got just like maybe a 30-second take-home message for people if they're thinking about perhaps looking into a coach or that type of thing. How would you recommend a person go looking for the right person?
Good question. So I know this from therapy, that the best parameter of finding the right therapist is not where the therapist graduated or how many years they've been working even, or anything else about them, as much as is like what the connection is like, right? So once you find a therapist that sounds like a regular therapist, does what a therapist should do, you experience them and see if you feel that it's right for you. For coaching is a bit more niche. So if you're looking in the right niche, like for example, if you want to work with someone who does accountability or time management or whatever it is that you want to do, you look for the right coach and just experience them. Have a session with them and see how it goes and if you feel right.
That is perfect. Well, I can't thank you enough to be joining us here with the MKE Now.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Recording stopped. All right, and we've got them off in the waiting room. That was perfect.
All right, good.
Oh, absolutely love this. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you. This was my first radio show, actually, and I hope it went well.
It was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, you did. Great.
I'm not gonna ask Kurt because he's a tough critic. But
he's such a hard ball.
I'll take your word for it. And I was also saying I would love to, because Kurt was telling me last time. Do I have a minute right now, or do you have?
Go ahead.
Kurt was telling me last time about how he gave me a figure that I did not know was that high. He said 25% of people have some sort of disability, and I'm involved in 2 different groups for business networking, and disability never comes up, except for HNP where I found Kurt. But besides that, it never comes up, and I think it's 25% of the population to get different businesses to connect with people with disabilities, not just because they get the service from the business, but also because it's a way to connect. That's a way for people with disabilities, for shows like yours, to give your message, to transfer your message to the rest of the population. So if you ever have a show like that where you just bring in different businesses every time to see, basically to ask them the question, how can they serve people with disability? If you do a show like that, I would be more than happy to always send people to it, because I know a lot of people would want to be on shows like that.
That is perfect, because actually on Saturdays, we have two different things that we do. Between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock Central, we end up having two 25-minute episodes of, it's called the TDC Today Show USA. So it's the Disability Channel Today Show USA. So it's a 25-minute segment. We do two of those. And then right after that, we have an hour-long show called World of Ability. So, and what you're saying would be perfect for any and all of that.
Okay.
So, and that would be something too. If you're available on a Saturday and would like to join in on that, that would be amazing. And
Sure.
that does not have, so like with this show, there's a little bit of restriction where there's no call to action here. With those, you can do whatever you want. It can be all about, check out my website. This is how to do this. And sure. It's much more open on those.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. If you guys can send me an email about it, where to sign up, how to sign up, I can always use another platform to talk about what I do and to see how I can help the audience or people from the audience.
That would be amazing. And actually, Emily, would you be able to reach out and help schedule and make that happen?
Mm-hmm. I can get Bobby to come on.
That would be amazing.
All right. Good. Sounds good.
Beautiful. And I believe I just want to make sure here that I have I think Emily sent me your email address.
Mm-hmm. It's easy. It's like my website. It's theprecisioncoach@gmail.
Oh, perfect. That makes it nice and easy. So I just want to make sure I've got you down here, because I will ending out the recording and the YouTube link and all that. I want to make sure I get that to you.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Great.
Garrett, did you have anything to say? You came off mute.
Well, I'm looking for this alluded to showing at TDC Today Show or World of Ability, and Emily, he's given you an idea of a show structure to put together. So I'm looking forward to our new editions of the the business edition of something, whether it's World of Ability or whatever, because I'd be saying that if we do that format where people are knowing they're watching business people converse about issues concerning workers or entrepreneurs with disabilities and so forth, that's a whole focal item of itself.
Yeah. I would think that what I was thinking is entrepreneurs without disabilities might even be more useful, because it would serve as a bridge, right, to get the message across. Things like people need a reason. Okay, why do I have to come and listen to what people with disabilities need, what they're concerned with, and what message they want to get out into the world? But if they can come in and talk about what they can do, and then are concerned about how they can serve this portion of the population, then there's mutual interest. So it can have a line like, this show is like where we bridge the two communities through bringing in different entrepreneurs, something like that. That's what I was thinking. I don't know.
Figure out how to get that out there. But Bob, if you wanted to help with that, or send anybody who's interested in being on the show and talking about something like that, feel free.
Say that again, Emily?
If you know of anybody who would be interested in coming on and talking about something like that, want to help in anything with that, then
I know a bunch of people who would want to come if the structure is like that, where people would come in, introduce their business, see how they can help, and things like that. I know a bunch of people who do that.
Well, if you
I
wanna,
mean,
if you
even in
wanna,
HMP.
yeah, if you wanna give them my contact info or something, or you give me their contact info or something, I could talk to them.
Sure. So you want to get those people before you have that format to start building it that way?
Or Kurt or Sue, how do you want to?
I'm thinking like one of the World of Ability shows could be exactly that. There's usually those shows are pretty open format with how it goes. It kind of depends on who's there and where the conversation goes. But if we have one or multiples where you start out with a team all coming, kind of having that same basis of a conversation, it's perfect. That sounds amazing.
Sounds good. And just so I can talk you up and like get them interested, or just to give them an idea, what is the exposure that they get? Do you have a figure for the number of listeners you have on the?
That is a great question, and we really don't have a good way to track that. So that, yeah, I wish I had a good answer for you on that. I really don't. It depends on how much it gets shared out. We do have distribution partners. So the Disability Channel shares it out. Zach Clayton with the PAC channel, Marcus Hart with Transform You Media Network, and I just blanked on his name. Who am I missing?
Lawrence
Wingate with Wingate Studios. They also, so we've got 4 different partners that share out what we do as well. So what they get for listenership along the way, I really don't know what the numbers are.
Okay. Do you have a minimum? So I feel like they have at least this many listeners, or?
Kurt, do you have a better feel for that? I really don't know.
Like I say, with the being in use with all of our partners, yeah, it's speculative, but I don't know. They'd have to be willing to, I don't know what their expectation is. If we say a minimum of 1,000, are they like out because they need it to be 50,000, or are they looking for a 500,000 listeners?
Okay.
If they have high expectations, we'd have to do an audit with our media partners and give them an exact answer.
Got it. Okay. Well, I just want like something. People love numbers, so I thought like if I have something to tell them. But yeah, you have 4 distribution partners, you call them?
Well, more than that, we have nonprofit TV, Wingate Studios, the Disability Channel, We're World of Ability. We got Jaws Coffee Chat Series. We got the PAC channel. So we've got new meetings taking place. Before I came on to here, I was with another media group. So I'm basically forming a media conglomeration, Bob. Because my whole passion is, to your point, is I want to have those more visible numbers of like 500,000 people, that we're reaching through our media conglomeration. So I'm filling the gap on what you're talking about by getting more people involved. So like with HMP, I proposed to Edwin to do HMP TV. He said he doesn't have the bandwidth to do that right now. But basically, while he's not doing HMP, I'm not doing HMP TV either. But I'm basically bringing the value to everybody at HMP that if there was HMP TV, they're getting HMP TV without even knowing it.
Yeah, and then maybe if everyone was ever ready to do it, then we might have something to give to them.
Yeah, so I'm building it to get to a point where Edwin would have to be pretty stupid not to do HMP TV. I'm not at that point right now. So he's okay with me that he's taking a pass right now. But Bobby, with your help and everything, we're going to make this thing so big that Edwin's going to win in. But we're getting it.
Okay. So yeah, based on everything you just said with all the channels and everything, I think I wouldn't be lying if I said you have a wide reach.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, it could be pretty spectacular without me even knowing it. Like Sue said, we never even went after the number. Because I mean, for us, if what we just did reached 100 people, we're completely satisfied. Because how many things as you go through your business day are you reaching 100 people? So if people come here, spend an hour or 29 minutes with us, and we reach 100 people, compared to what other people are doing, that's pretty good. So I think, it's more the quality and kind of, what it generates. So our topic is so attractive and we're filling such a gaping hole that as we reach people, it's a pretty big deal. Like me,